This is something I wanted to cover for a long time. Superior Drummer is well known out there as far as virtual instruments goes, and it is basically a plugin for and software package basically that has real live sampled drum kits, and that's probably a really dumb explanation of it, but for me it enables me to have real drum sounds for a guy that can't play drums. Now what I did here is I wanted to show you, I've grabbed my son. Actually I did this for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and Pro Tools crashed on me and I lost all my work. Even though I lost everything, it was going to be actually a good exercise to show you what you could do even if you weren't a drummer with this software. So I'm going to bring up my son. He's going to get behind the Roland TD-25KV kit. So this is an electronic drum kit. It's a V drum made by Roland. It's got mesh heads, which are a little more, not the rubber pads you see a lot, so they feel a little bit more like real drums. You can actually loosen them to get the feeling and the bounce that you want. And then it also has a drum brain that has drum sounds in it. However, I'm not a big fan of those sounds. Some of them are workable and they do sample certain drums. But Superior Drummer, and I'll bring it up in a minute to show you after he records, just what you can do by using, in this case, the Roland to trigger those drums. I can actually use any kind of MIDI controller or MIDI input device, whether it be a small MIDI drum pad that I have those where I use my fingers. I've got a MIDI keyboard that I can plug in USB and trigger them that way. But obviously for drummers it works well because they can just get behind a kit and go. So everything is hooked up via USB. I'm bypassing the 1/4 inch outs of the V drums, which normally you would plug into a PA or into another speaker so you could hear it. In this case I just want to capture MIDI information and I want to put it into Pro Tools, and then from there the software plugin will read those MIDI notes. But we're actually recording in real time, so I'll shut up now, get over to Parker, my kid, playing these, and then I'll show you what we can do to correct certain things that maybe don't sound right or don't trigger correctly.
All right. We're not.
Alright, so we had a beat there, it was 150 beats per minute. I set that within Pro Tools, and then you can see what it actually captured in here, and you saw that during the video as well, as it was capturing it real time. So let's go ahead and just play back what we captured here. I'll leave the click on and you can hear. Okay, so there's that. Now, when you get in here, here's what the actual interface looks like for Superior Drummer. So as we hit play, yeah, I can actually see the kit here. Now, if I wanted to, I could come over here and I could actually load different kits. So right now it has this with Iowa kit, and what that is probably their Slipknot-ish kind of kit. Well, we went in here and we changed a bunch of stuff, but for example, I can grab this Andy Sneap kit. You can't really see, the window's not capturing, but let's just watch how when I change this setting, it looks about the same, but the sound will be different. And it does take a little bit to load all the sounds into it, so I probably should have waited. But let's wait till this loads all in here, and then I'll play it again. So you can see that, I've just changed the whole performance here just by going up and loading these different kits. If you wanted to, you could actually highlight the drum, and you can actually go up to whatever that drum is, and it's a 16 by 24. I could change the bass drum. I could go over to the crash, and I could change that as well. And you should get the point. You could do all this. This one here, yes, if Parker had been playing for 20 years, his meter would be spot on with lots of practice. But in his case, he's off just a little bit, and that's way better than his dad could do. But let's just listen here. So a couple little things, but what you can do is if you want to do a quick fix, let me bring up this window, the real-time properties, you could quantize this. Now, quantizing, what that does is basically puts things on a grid within the software and brings them into this time. Like in this case, we're going to try 16ths because he's got a 16th roll here coming up. This one here, you can see it right here, right? So that's my drum sounds. So we're going to try a 16th note, and we're going to see what happens. A lot of times, though, if you've got a lot of variation, it's going to pull each note in a certain direction. It may not give you the sound or feel that you want. And a lot of times when they're doing drum editing, even real drums in the studio, they're going to be going in and they're actually going to be tediously moving things around instead of quantizing this whole song, if they do it this way. Even then, they are doing, Beat Detective and Pro Tools, I think, for regular analog drums, So this is quantized to 16th. If you had a swing beat, you could actually make it where it was kind of a swing. We're not doing that here. So let's play this and listen what happened. So you'll hear that quantizing tried to correct some things and made them worse. So the thing you could do is, like I heard something in the beginning, you could play along here. I could bring up the window, and let's get these a little bit larger. There's a section in here. So I hear a do-do-do, but that's not what we want. So we could actually take this and just move it over. Now you can look, there's the grid here. It's actually moved things over on its own. If I took this and I took the quantize off, watch, you'll see them shift over. Now you can look, you can see they're a little off within these things. So quantizing, sorry, my screen capture software kind of screws with my window. So I'm going to put them back on there just for the sake of keeping things simple and fast. So now I've corrected that one part. Right? So now I heard another weird one over here. So there's the strange one, right? So we can look. I told him, he was trying to get real fancy on me, and I said, just for the sake of this video, let's just keep it super simple. So I'm just going to move that one note up. Right? Now this information in Pro Tools, at least their editor, this is velocity, and basically it's the volume of the notes. Looks like we've got something here. Sounds okay. We've got a very weak, there we go, very weak hi-hat. So what I'd probably do is find where he, like this case, we've got, so he hit the bell, which would have been, I would have liked more. So I can either take all this, which I probably would do, because on the, well, just like a real kit, you know, the bell is here and you got your rim, the outside of the ride. So he could have actually hit the bell more. So I'd probably take this and take these up here, and you can actually just move them up. If I was to get crazy, I would probably adjust the velocity up. But we've got a very short passage, so I can take this stuff in here and I can just move it up. Right? And even then, I would maybe take this down here. Here's all the rides. And what you could do in here, if you have room, you could just pull them all up. But we've got some that are maxed, so we don't have a lot of room here. So I'm going to have to take individuals. But it's okay. We got time. Very easy, something you can kind of mess around with, input on your own. Will that be a drum pad? You don't have to go crazy with a V drum kit, but that's just showing you the real drum sounds you can get out of there. So rather than make this a super long video, I really wanted to just show you the power of the Roland V drum kit, triggering Superior Drummer, some basic editing that you can do, and it kind of just maybe pique your interest on the flexibility that you can have with these virtual instruments, like Superior Drummer, for example. The next video I want to do is I'm going to bring in the Axe Effects, lay down some guitars, lay down some bass. I can't sing, so it'll be just that. But you'll be able to kind of see not start to finish necessarily, but some cool ideas and what you can do with this stuff in the studio. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. As usual, smash that like button, and then leave me a comment and let me know what you thought about it.